Welcome to a journey that may change the way you learn, remember, and even the way you live, inviting you to slow down and reconnect with your mind. If you have ever forgotten someone's name just moments after hearing it, know that this experience is more common than you think. If you have studied for hours only to enter the exam room and suddenly feel your mind go silent, this message is for you. If you have walked into a room and paused, unsure why you came there, your brain is simply overwhelmed, not broken. And if your mind feels heavy, overloaded, or unable to hold what truly matters, this story was written gently and intentionally for you. You are about to step into 12 simple but powerful steps that can unlock your brain and help you remember what truly matters. These steps are not quick tricks. They form a system based on how the human brain actually works, grounded in clarity and science. And the beautiful part is this. As you walk with me through this journey, you also learn English in a natural, emotional way. You learn through stories, images, repetition, and feeling. The 4 elements that help the mind grow stronger and remember longer. You want to change yourself. You want to speak English more naturally, understand it more deeply, and trust your memory again. You want a lighter mind, a sharper mind, and a freer mind. One that can focus, remember, and stay present with ease. So do not just watch this video. Feel it. Let every line touch a quiet place inside you, the place that wants to grow. Sometimes, one small journey can open a very big door in your life, changing the way you think, learn, remember, and choose. And if you want to continue walking with us through stories that teach English and awaken inner wisdom, please subscribe now. Let's get started. Step 1. Understand how memory works. You do not have a weak memory, you have an untrained one. This truth is the foundation of everything you will learn today. Before you learn how to remember deeply, you must first understand why you forget so easily and why information slips away. Many people believe, I am not smart, my brain is weak, I cannot remember anything. But these thoughts are simply untrue. Your memory is not weak. It has simply never been guided, shaped, or trained to store information in a meaningful way. The first mistake we all make is this. We never learned how memory truly works, or how the mind saves information. Imagine your mind as a living library filled with shelves, books, and pathways. Every new piece of information becomes a book. When you learn a name, date, fact, or new word, you are placing a new book on a shelf inside this quiet and beautiful library. If you do not label the book, place it carefully, or return to review it later, it becomes lost among thousands of others. This is what happens inside your mind every day. Information enters, but without care or connection, it does not stay long. Short-term versus long-term memory. Short-term memory is like a whiteboard. You write something down, but the smallest distraction can erase everything instantly. Long-term memory is like a strong notebook that holds your thoughts for years, as long as you place them there with intention. Most people keep everything in short-term memory and never move it to long-term storage, so information fades quickly. For example, someone says, "Hi, I'm Jason." You smile, talk, walk away, and 5 minutes later, the name is gone. Not because you failed, but because your brain only heard the name. It did not repeat it, feel it, or connect it to anything. When you think, Jason, like Jason Statham, you create an image. You repeat the name and build a stronger memory path. When information is focused on, repeated, linked, and visualized, it moves into long-term memory and stays with you. The lesson: memory is not a talent. Memory is a skill, one you can train every day, just like a muscle in the body. Step 2. Pay full attention. You cannot remember what you never truly noticed. This truth may feel uncomfortable, but it is the key to strong memory. You do not have a memory problem. You have an attention problem. Your mind cannot save what it was never asked to notice. Every day, your brain receives millions of signals: sounds, messages, faces, colors, movements, and endless notifications. If your brain tried to keep everything, you would feel overwhelmed. So it chooses what to save based on your attention. What you focus on stays. What you ignore fades. Your attention is the door through which memory enters and becomes stable. Example: you forget your bag in a taxi because you were tired and distracted. You saw the car, but you did not look closely. You heard the driver, but you did not listen. Your brain never saved the details because you never told it they mattered. 1 second of awareness, looking at the plate number, noticing the driver's face, could have saved you from losing everything. The key truth of Step 2: you cannot save a file you never opened. Memory begins with presence and honest attention. From now on, pause for 3 seconds before you want to remember something. This simple act changes everything. Look clearly. Listen fully. Repeat it once. Connect it with something you already know, even if in a small, simple way. 5 seconds of true attention can be the difference between remembering for life and forgetting in just a moment. Step 3. Turn words into pictures. The human brain does not think in words. It thinks in images. This simple truth can transform the way you remember. When you hear the word elephant, you do not see letters. You see a huge gray animal with wide ears and a long trunk. This is why, to remember faster, you must turn words into images your mind can clearly see, feel, and connect to. Words are abstract, but images are alive. They carry color, emotion, movement, and shape, things your brain loves. Example: the name Lily. If you only think Lily is a name, your mind forgets it almost immediately. But imagine her holding white lilies, or imagine her hair made of lilies. Now the name has a vivid, unforgettable picture. Example: volcano. Do not just think mountain. Imagine a giant birthday cake exploding with hot red chocolate lava. Hear the loud boom, smell the burnt chocolate, and feel the heat. The stranger the picture, the stronger the memory. Example list: milk, eggs, book, shoes, cat. Do not memorize like a robot. Turn them into one playful picture. Picture a giant milk carton reading a book, sitting on shoes, while a cat wearing glasses watches eggs fall like snow. Now the list is no longer text. It becomes a movie in your mind, full of movement, color, and a little humor. Your brain remembers images, surprises, and emotions. This rule works for English vocabulary and all knowledge. Step 4. Use the story. Method. The brain does not remember lists. It remembers stories. Humans are wired to remember characters and emotions. That is why children remember fairy tales for years, but forget math lessons after one day. Stories stay. Lists fade. Try this list: apple, horse, jacket, candle, ice cream, cloud, socks, chair, tree, monkey. Hard to learn as a list. Now turn it into a story. A giant apple drops onto a horse, which panics and runs into a shop to steal a jacket. In the darkness, it lights a candle, melts an ice cream, and the explosion turns into a cream-colored cloud raining socks. A sock hits a chair. The chair grows into a tree, and from that tree a monkey jumps down and gives you a thumbs up. Close your eyes and repeat the story. You will remember every word because the story connects all details together. Stories create connection, emotion, movement, and images, the 4 keys to long-term memory. The stranger the story, the easier it is to remember. The brain keeps surprise, not logic. Use this for anything you learn. Step 5. Practice spaced repetition. Learning once is not learning. True memory comes from spaced repetition. This method is the secret behind strong memory. In school, we crammed information, read it again and again, and still forgot most of it the next day. Understanding something while reading is not the same as remembering it when the book is closed. Most people fail because they never review information at the right time or in the right rhythm. Memory works like writing in sand. Today the writing is clear, but tomorrow the wind and waves make it disappear. Without review, the memory fades quickly. With too much review, the mind becomes tired. The right rhythm is the key. Science calls this the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve, which explains why we forget so fast and how to stop it. The golden review schedule. Review after 1 hour, 1 day, 2 days, 4 days, 1 week, and 2 weeks. Each review tells your brain, this matters, keep it. After 5 or 6 cycles, the memory becomes almost permanent. Example. The word serendipity, meaning finding something good without looking for it. Easy to forget without review. But if you learn it today, write a sentence after an hour. Use it tomorrow, write a story on day 4, and teach it on day 14. The word becomes part of you. It is no longer vocabulary. It becomes a personal memory that stays with you. Helpful apps include Anki, Quizlet, and Brainscape, but paper works too. The method matters more than the tool. The truth is simple. No review means no memory. Review with rhythm, and the memory stays for a very long time. Step 6. Add emotion to what you learn. The more emotion you feel, the deeper the memory becomes. Your mind keeps feelings more than information. You may not remember what you wore 7 days ago, but you remember the day someone hurt you or truly praised you. The brain does not store facts. It stores emotions. Feelings tell the brain, this is important. Keep it forever. You can read a sentence 10 times and still forget it, but one emotional sentence can stay with you for life. Example. April 15th, 1912. Titanic sank. As plain information, it disappears quickly. But imagine the musicians playing as the ship went down, mothers holding children, lovers saying goodbye, strangers saving strangers. Suddenly, the date is no longer numbers. It becomes a human story filled with courage, loss, love, and unforgettable emotion. Vocabulary example. Abandon. Do not just learn the meaning. Connect it to a moment you felt left, or when you let something go. When a word has personal memory, it stays. Emotion, real or imagined, has the power to lock information in your mind. Even boring topics can gain emotion. Imagine a triangle as a slice of pizza, and you only get half. You remember 1/2. The brain does not care about logic. It cares about emotion. And emotion, real or fake, strengthens memory deeply. Step 7. Teach back immediately. When you teach, you remember twice. This principle shows that teaching right away turns new knowledge into long-term memory. To remember something for a long time, teach it immediately after learning, even in a small, simple, personal way. Teaching does not require a classroom. You can explain the idea to a friend, a sibling, or even to yourself. You can also teach by talking to the mirror, recording a voice note, writing a short post, or making a tiny video. When you teach, you must recall the idea, organize it again, and express it in your own words with clarity. These 3 actions strengthen your memory deeply, carving the information into your mind like carving into stone. Example: the word procrastinate, meaning delaying tasks you know you should do, such as cleaning or studying. You may read the meaning and understand it, but without using it immediately, the word will disappear by tomorrow. But if you tell a friend, procrastinate means delaying things we must do, and I often procrastinate doing the dishes, it stays. In that moment, your brain locks the word in place because you used it, shared it, and made it your own. Reading is like watching someone lift weights, while teaching back is like lifting the weight yourself and growing stronger. Only when you lift do you grow. Only when you teach do you truly remember and build long-lasting understanding. Step 8. Build a mind palace. The brain remembers places better than words. This ancient method helps people memorize numbers, speeches, and lists easily. Your brain naturally remembers locations, childhood homes, favorite corners, familiar rooms, scents, and spaces from long ago. To build your first mind palace, choose a familiar place such as your home, school, or a cafe you know very well. Close your eyes and walk through it. The front door, living room, kitchen, bedroom, balcony, or any space you remember clearly. Then place information in each location. For example, to memorize 8 planets. Turn each room into a vivid mental scene. Mercury burns in the living room, Venus sprays perfume in the kitchen, Earth spins in the bathroom, and Mars covers your bed in dust. Jupiter bounces like a giant ball on the balcony, Saturn's ring circles the stair pole, Uranus shivers on the rooftop, and Neptune floods the gate. Now walk through your palace again. You will remember the planets forever because the mind remembers spaces naturally. Important notes: strange images are easier to remember. Reviewing your palace strengthens it, and using one palace repeatedly builds power. Step 9. Review before sleep. The last 10 minutes before sleep decide what your brain keeps. At night, your mind organizes, cleans, and stores memories. Your brain reviews the day like a librarian checking books, keeping what matters, deleting what does not, and storing repeated ideas. What you do right before sleeping decides what stays. Social media, memes, and random videos tell the brain they are important, and the important words or lessons you learned earlier in the day get erased like dust swept from a shelf. The correct routine is simple. Turn off your phone, open your notebook, and review the 5 to 10 ideas you want to remember. Say them out loud, visualize them, feel your progress, and go to sleep peacefully while your brain saves the information deeply. This small habit strengthens memory, improves sleep, sharpens focus, reduces stress, and builds gentle daily discipline. Step 10. Write down what matters. Writing is the save button of the brain. We forget what we hear or read, but we remember for long when we write by hand. Writing forces the mind to slow down, organize thoughts, and transform vague ideas into clear, structured understanding. When you write, your brain becomes active, telling itself, "This is important. Keep this," and the memory grows stronger. Writing means true understanding. You explain, organize, and connect ideas, which moves them into long-term memory. Example: resilience, meaning the ability to rise again after difficulties. Writing examples makes the word part of your story. Handwriting beats typing because it requires deeper thinking, physical movement, and stronger neural connections. Write vocabulary, key ideas, quotes, daily lessons, and meaningful thoughts. Even a small page a day makes a difference. Step 11. Use active recall. You remember not when the text is in front of you, but when it is gone. Active recall forces your mind to pull knowledge out. Many learners reread material and think they understand, but once the book closes, most of the information disappears. Active recall is the gym of the mind. Reading is watching someone lift weights. Recalling is lifting the weights yourself. Practice by closing the book and explaining the idea, pausing videos to repeat key points, or testing yourself each night. At first it feels hard, but that difficulty is your brain growing stronger, forming deeper, more reliable memory paths. Each moment you retrieve information, you train your memory like a muscle, and muscles grow only when challenged. Step 12. Protect your mind from overload. The brain is not a storage room. It is a garden. You must protect it from noise, clutter, and unnecessary information. People forget not because they are weak, but because their minds are full of too many sounds, messages, and distractions. Morning habits like checking social media, news, drama, and notifications fill the mind with noise before the day begins. By the time you start your morning, your brain is already tired, overwhelmed, and unable to hold what truly matters. That is why simple lists disappear. Important items get buried under hundreds of meaningless inputs throughout the day. Protect your mind. Start the day in silence, reduce digital noise, write nightly journals, and take one tech-free hour daily. Choose what deserves space in your mind. Not every idea, opinion, or story is worthy of entering your inner world. Your mind is your home. Choose carefully who and what you allow to live there. Now you know 12 steps that can change your memory, and maybe even change the way you live your life each day. These steps are not just techniques, they are habits, a gentle way of telling your brain, "This matters, I want to keep it." There is one more truth to remember. Knowing is not enough. Only doing turns information into real, lasting memory. Ask yourself slowly, what did I rewrite today? What did I teach someone? What did I protect my mind from? What did I review before sleep? What did I remember using images? And what did I give my true attention to today? If your answer is yes, then you are not just someone with good memory. You are someone who remembers what truly matters. And that is the kind of memory this life needs, the kind that shapes who you are and who you are becoming. This journey is also your English learning journey. Every story, example, and step is making your English clearer and deeper. It becomes more natural, more emotional, and more meaningful because you are learning through images, feelings, and stories. Through this way of learning, English stops being a subject. It becomes a part of you, something alive inside your mind. If this message touched you, share it with someone who might need it. A small act can open a big door for another soul. And in the comments, tell me, what small change will you begin today to make your memory and life clearer and stronger? At English Richness, we do not just tell stories to teach English. We share ideas that awaken clarity, peace, and inner richness. If you want to keep growing with us, learning English better, understanding yourself deeper, living more meaningfully, subscribe now, because together we will continue learning, becoming, and rising in the ways that truly matter. Better English, better life. You better starting today.